Oh, that voice. Tonight, mon enfant. Oh, mon Dieu. They did it. They did it. They've turned my sweet daughter into a cold machine.
It's all right. Stay calm.
Well, Ludia, what has Cagliostro told you? Has he sent you to put me out of my misery?
No. I'm going to get you out of here. Let me help you.
There's no point. I'm burning with fever, and I'm already short of breath. Death lurks around every corner in this prison. I couldn't escape it. I'm not long for this world.
No, you can't. Outside, your automats are slaughtering men, women, and children. What you have done, monsieur, only you can undo.
What I have done, the miracles I performed, the wonders I gave to this kingdom, it was nothing but vanity. I closed my eyes to it for so long. Mesmer, Cagliostro, souls snatched from their eternal rest like water from a well. I should have set fire to the workshop. I should have melted my creations.
It's not too late to stop the massacre.
I don't have the strength. You must...
Speak, monsieur. Say something, enfant.
You must stop them. The king and his loathsome henchman, Cagliostro, the master of the machines. He gives them their orders. He must be silenced at all costs. Take my hand.
Monsieur. Monsieur. Father.
No, no, my pauvre enfant. I am not your father. No more than you are Athenais. You're but the vessel that contains what is left of her broken soul. Ludia, I don't want to die without hope. In the name of what is left of her in you, in the name of her love for you, I beg you to free her from the purgatory our enemies have confined her to.
I will grant your wish, monsieur.
Do you realize what that means? Are you ready to make that sacrifice?
The ultimate sacrifice.
Ma fille. I shall never see her darling face again. Ma petite. You must set her free. Bring her back into the light. The light.
Monsieur. Monsieur. Monsieur.
No! Papa! Have you lost your mind?
Bon sang, my daughter, will you never listen? This machine belongs to the king now, vous le savez. There's nothing I can do about it.
Did he also order you to torture her?
The king wants me to make some improvements.
And you obey him just like that?
That's enough, Athenais. Let me work. And from now on, I forbid you from coming in here without my permission.
Ugh! You're no better than your master, Papa!
Citoyen, I come bearing sad tidings. Monsieur de Vaucanson has passed away. I was present for his last breath in his cell at the Bastille.
Juste ciel. Requiescat in pace.
Mon Dieu, it is a cruel fate that has taken my dearest friend from me today.
Eugène. Ce pauvre Eugène. I cannot suffer such a horrible injustice.
Was he at least able to tell you something before he passed away?
No. Nothing.
How unfortunate. We are lost.
Must we resign ourselves to this disastrous turn of events?
No, General. Every part of me refuses to do so. Eugène de Vaucanson made me make a promise that I swore to keep. Now I have no other choice than to risk everything.
What are you thinking, Aegis?
I'm thinking of making my way to Versailles.
Eh bien, you should know that I also plan to go there.
You don't even think about it.
Ma foi. What have we got to lose? Our lives? At this point, you must admit that they're not worth much.
I agree with the Marquis's resolution. We must take into account everything that Aegis has done to foil the King's plans. The time has come for us to put ourselves at her service.
Not so fast, mon ami. Let's not rush into anything. You'd have to be mad to want to be part of the battle to come. Those who agree to take part in this strike will need to keep a low profile until... As for you, madame, I do not know what new arrangements have been made since my last visit to the Queen, but I found the area around the North Wing to be particularly empty. Here is where you should launch the attack. If fortune is in my favor, I shall be waiting for you at the Petit Trianon with something to help you make your way through the gardens.
As for us, once the automats have been defeated, we will enter the palace to seize the king and the count.
Is that your plan, Monsieur le Marquis?
It is, monsieur.
We are about to take the small step that separates audacity from madness.
Are you ready to take it, madame?
Citoyen, I cannot escape my obligations. It is in my very nature to honor them. I kept the promise I made to the Queen to find Monsieur de Vaucanson. I am now bound by the oath I swore before my creator. If I go to Versailles, it is in the hope of rescuing Athenais. I think also of all that remains to be done in Paris. And what's more, you demand my help to make you masters of the king.
It is a heavy burden that we place on your shoulders. But once again, we must leave it up to you.
Take your time, Aegis. A hasty decision could lead to disaster.
We will be ready for action when the time comes.
Pour la nation!
Et pour le royaume!
Citoyen Lavoisier.
What can I do for you, Aegis?
The clues I found at the warehouse suggest that the gunpowder was moved to the Bastille.
Diable. You must find a way to get there and put an end to this threat.
Goodbye, Citoyen and down. Citoyen B.
Ah, mademoiselle.
Goodbye, vive le... Citoyen Robespierre.
Madame.
Goodbye, and... Citoyen Mirabeau. I found a broken cane. It says Franciscus Antonius on it. Do you know who it belongs to?
Well, I never. Yes, I know the owner. And I'm willing to bet you're looking for a certain François Antoine.
That's right.
Well, you'd need to look a little further east, mademoiselle. Across the Rhine, for a start. Because this cane belongs, or belonged, to a certain Franz Anton Mesmer.
Mesmer, the prince of charlatans.
Good heavens, it's been a long time since I've heard his name.
5 years to be exact since your learned commission denounced his theories.
It wasn't long after that when he disappeared.
Mesmer. Eugène de Vaucanson said that name before he died. Can you tell me more about him?
He was a mystical healer who was once popular with the upper class. I myself attended several of his sessions.
You mentioned a commission.
The king did not look kindly on the healer's popularity within the court. This led him to appoint a commission from the Royal Academy of Sciences.
An institution to which Monsieur Bailly and I have the honor to belong. We were asked to investigate his alleged powers.
The experiments that we performed allowed us to determine that Monsieur Mesmer's activities were pure charlatanism, a conclusion that destroyed his successful career the moment it was published.
But there was something, Sylvain, a tiny flow of energy that my devices were able to measure.
My dear colleague, must I remind you again that we were never able to reproduce your observations? It was obviously a momentary failure of your equipment.
Perhaps. I'd like to be sure of it.
When and how did Monsieur Mesmer...
The denunciation of his techniques was the start of a long descent into hell for Monsieur. He was abandoned by his clients and resumed his research in virtual secrecy. I think he was hoping to perfect his so-called science.
A hope that led him to associate himself with that dastardly Cagliostro. In any case, their collaboration did not last long. Monsieur Mesmer left the kingdom overnight to return to his mother country.
Why did he leave so quickly?
That is a mystery. But those who saw him that morning say it was as if he had the devil at his heels.
This is true. He left in such a hurry that he abandoned everything he owned. And it seems that Cagliostro has inherited this treasure.
Is that so? Well, if what you say is true, that broken cane must have passed into the Count's hands.
Yes, it's likely.
This adventurer from who knows where is quite the mysterious character. I've been able to observe him from my apartments, making frequent visits to Rue Saint-Honoré, on the Tuileries side. I wonder what he was doing there.
What were Monsieur Mesmer's theories?
He is a proponent of a theory called animal magnetism. He claimed to be able to channel a purported universal healing fluid by passing his hands over patients and using magnets.
He also cobbled together a whole array of mad devices, each... Unfortunately, despite all his attempts, I don't know that he ever cured anyone.
What happened during Monsieur Mesmer's treatment sessions?
Oh, they were quite a spectacle to behold. Imagine well-born ladies afflicted with perfectly imaginary, a dimly lit room, where incense has been burned to intoxicate the soul. Amiable servants, half-dressed, gliding from countess to duchess, to the sound of a sensual melody. And the great Mesmer, a doctor with wandering hands, presiding over the wonderful scene. Oh, you should have seen them. Those grand ladies moaning, crying, and falling into a swoon, clinging to that strange tub. Du théâtre, ma chère. Pure theatre.
Citoyen Mirabeau. What does this letter mean?
Who gave you the right to read my correspondence?
I'm curious about how you got rid of it earlier.
To tell you the truth, you're not entirely wrong. It is a missive sent by my father, the Marquis de Mirabeau. He writes to say that he is on the brink of death. This reprobate used his final moments on this mortal plane to...
How is that possible?
To my knowledge, he has not yet deigned to shuffle off this mortal coil. This man is more persistent than the plague. He has spent his entire life persecuting his family. I need to know what he's planning.
Where is he now?
At his home in Argenteuil. Given the circumstances, going to ask him for an explanation is out of the question. But the man who heard his final confession is here.
Monseigneur de la Fare.
Precisely. Only this confounded shaveling refuses to tell me a word of what the old dragon confided to him. He stubbornly insists on the secrecy of confession. Bon sang. Will we ever be rid of these damned superstitions? Aegis, would you be so kind as to intercede with the bishop?
Monseigneur.
What can I do for you, Aegis?
Monseigneur, I would like to talk to you about your recent meeting with the Marquis de Mirabeau.
What has gotten into all of you? This has gone on long enough. I will say it one last time and pray that they will finally leave me alone. Nothing and no one will make me violate the secrecy of his confession. Have I made myself clear?
Perfectly clear, Monseigneur. Citoyen Mirabeau. Alas, the bishop stubbornly refused to reveal anything.
Damn it. I need to know what my rogue of a father is up to. Let me think. In light of the cartload of threats he sent me, it's safe to wager that my sister and mother received similar letters. They may even have already suffered his revenge. However, my sister lives in Grasse in the south of France. Unless a messenger rode 100 horses to death, she could not have received this letter. Then there is my poor mother.
If you ask me, I will go to find her.
Yes, it's very kind of you to offer. But I couldn't...
Your own mother. I can be discreet. Rest assured.
Very well. You should know that my mother, the Countess of Covey, has lost everything. Truly. First her fortune, then her faculties. No matter what I tried, nothing could prevent her decline. It is said that she is now living on charity, in the most abject poverty in the slums of the Marais. If perchance your past takes you to this dreadful place, and if she still remembers who she is, perhaps you may meet her.
General Lafayette.
Do you need help, Aegis?
Goodbye, General. And down with the clock. All the gunpowder is here, but what to do with it? Shall I destroy it? To ensure that no one will use it against the people of Paris? Or shall I entrust it to General de Lafayette? Citoyen Robespierre.
Madame.
Goodbye, and... Citoyen Levoisier.
What can I do for you?
I found the powder. It was at the Bastille.
Did you do what needed to be done?
Yes. There is nothing more to fear from it.
What do you mean, nothing more to fear from it?
I flooded the cellars where the powder was stored.
Bon sang! Lavoisier! Why did you put our fate in the hands of a cursed machine?
This machine, as you say, just saved you from certain annihilation.
No, you have rendered us impotent.
Come now, monsieur. Get a hold of yourself.
Mon Dieu! Everything I attempt seems doomed to fail. I fear we no longer have any chance of winning this war.
Please, calm yourself. What you fear is the loss of your own personal interests. Everyone here is convinced of this. Goodbye, Citoyen Lavoisier.
We're not gonna just leave her there. She'll be eaten by rats.
What would you have us do? Are you willing to risk your life just to go bury her?
Absolutely not. But still, what a sorry sight. Who could be so cowardly as to attack a half-crazed woman? Oh yeah, I remember. A sort of strong man with a pock-marked face, wasn't he? A frightening face, really. But the cutthroat must have succeeded in the end. God knows how he tricked the Countess into letting him in. No doubt it was because of those old rumours. As crazy and poor as she was, it seems that she kept a small treasure hidden under her bed. All that remained of her aristocratic life, it seems.
Citoyen Mirabeau. Unfortunately, I come bearing sad news.
Go on, Aegis. This is about my mother, isn't it?
Indeed. The Countess is no longer of this world.
Yes, yes. It was to be feared. The poor woman. At last she has been delivered from the madness that drove her into the gutter.
It gets worse.
Worse, you say?
Your mother did not die of poverty. She was killed.
Murdered? No. No. My father. The rabid dog made good on his threat. As for you, Bishop, do you finally understand the man's true nature? How much longer will you protect this demon?
I share your grief, Monsieur de Mirabeau, but the secrets of...
Enough! You sanctimonious bigot! Is it not enough for you to serve the people absurd fables that condemn them to ignorance? Must you also submit to the whims of a malicious old brute? The scourge of his own family? Speak! Speak now, or so help me, I will send you to meet your maker.
Please, monsieur, let us not get carried away. Out of respect for your grief, and given the extraordinary circumstances, I consent to enlighten you.
I am listening, Monseigneur.
I admit that your father is an unusual person, inhabited by an anger whose source is undetermined. He blamed you, your sister, and your poor mother for all. I stayed by his bedside an entire night. I preached about mercy and the example of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Ha! That must have gone over well.
Do not mock me, Monsieur de Mirabeau. At dawn, I finally got Monsieur le Marquis to see the error of his ways. Before God, he extended forgiveness to all those he had previously condemned.
However, he did not give up his plans for revenge.
In fact, monsieur, he did. He even gave me a leather wallet containing, in his words, the instrument of your punishment. He asked me to dispose of it. Unfortunately, your mother's fate was already sealed. Orders had been given. There was nothing more that could be done. The poor soul. He was in tears, his body racked with sobs.
My heart breaks to hear it. What was in the wallet?
I don't know, monsieur. I did not open it.
In that case, I ask you to give it to me now.
I cannot, monsieur. When I was captured, the wallet fell into the hands of the Comte de Cagliostro.
Nom de nom, Aegis. Do you realize what this means? This wallet contains my father's sentences for his children. Me, of course, but also my sister, the Marquise de Cabri. You must find it at all costs. Our fate is in your hands. Cagliostro must have put it in a safe place.
The Marquise de Capri?
Yes, that is my sister Louis.
Fortune favors you today. It so happens that I already have this wallet. It was in a secret workshop by the Tuileries, where the Count conducts his sinister experiments.
Oh, how fortunate. What does it contain?
2 envelopes addressed to the Lieutenant General de Police. It concerns your sister, the Marquise de Capri.
Let's see. A lettre de cachet signed by my father. He gave orders to have my sister locked up in a convent. His unique variety of fatherly love is unmistakable. What was in the second envelope?
It is empty.
Empty? Mon Dieu. You don't have to be a genius to guess that it contained a similar document. This time concerning myself. If the envelope was empty, it means that this letter has already been delivered to its recipient. By Cagliostro, no doubt. The monster must have felt a perverse sense of joy as he devoured its contents. Aegis, you must retrieve this letter at all costs. If the Lieutenant General attaches a seal and gives it to his underlings at the Châtelet, I am done for.
Where does this Lieutenant General reside?
Right by the fortress. He's a dutiful man and prides himself on never straying too far from it. Please hurry, I beg of you.
General Lafayette.
Do you need help, Aegis?
Goodbye. Citoyen Mirabeau. Here is the letter sent by your father to the Lieutenant General de Police. You were right.
Mon Dieu. So this is what the Cur had in store for me. He sentenced me to spend the rest of my days in the Chateau de Vincennes. Those 10 square feet where I lay at death's door for 42 months on end. 14 seasons, spent with chattering teeth, coughing up a bucket full of bile and blood every day.
Your own father had you thrown in jail?
Alas, such is the sad truth.
What crime did he hold you to be guilty of?
He disapproved of the follies of the young man I was back then, and my love for a certain someone. A woman whom an unjust law kept me apart from. I was free and besotted with happiness, Aegis. And that was a crime in the eyes of my father, the Marquis. So he felt it necessary to steal my youth and clap his wayward son in irons.
What does this letter matter in the face of the mortal peril that hangs over all the king's enemies?
You must put yourself in my shoes to understand. If the king wins this war, he will send all the brave men here to the scaffold. And I am certain they will climb the steps with their heads held high. But if you hadn't taken that letter, I would have suffered a far darker fate. Louis the Mad would have made it his duty to respect my father's last wishes. But I would rather die, whether a hero or a coward, than return to Vincennes. There is no worse hell on earth than that infernal dungeon.
Was there no trial?
One would imagine. For centuries, a powerful man, whether a king or a father, needs simply put pen to paper, and an innocent man is thrown into prison. The poor soul sees neither judge nor lawyer, and his cries for help fall futilely on the cold stone of the dungeon walls. I am just one of many victims, whose ranks range from the most famous to the most lowly, from Voltaire and Diderot to the unfortunate children whose dark fates will never be known. In any case, I must now express my eternal gratitude, even though no words, no matter how eloquent, can express its depth. I owe everything to you, Aegis. You, who've broken my chains forever. Whatever happens now, I will be free to live or die for the nation. As for the Marquis de Mirabeau, that criminal whom misfortune chose as my father, let us consider him dead, shall we? Let him choke on loneliness and regret, once and for all.
You called, madame?
Aegis, thank heavens you're here. We're under siege.
In the courtyard, one of the king's creatures.
It seems determined to destroy the chateau walls. It's as if it came here for us.
Here is the key to the gate. It will lead you to the courtyard.
Hurry. Our lives are in your hands.
Madame!
Optimus, that thing, it's staring at you.
You're safe, Madame.
Mon Dieu. Aegis. Why did this abomination attack us?
I think you know, Madame. You saw how it obeyed you when you ordered it to stop fighting.
I don't understand a word of this nonsense.
I'm afraid your guardian angel seems to have a few screws loose, my queen.
No. You must listen to me. That creature was not trying to destroy you, Madame. It was trying to be near you. Listen to your heart. You know what it was. You know whose soul animated those cogs.
Stop it, please. Just stop.
You must know the truth. How he ordered your son to be put to death. How he bound his soul to the machine I just destroyed. How they were unable to control this hateful thing.
My baby.
Oh, my queen.
My poor angel. In the hell he suffered.
No. No.
Curse you, Louis. The Butcher King. Murderer. Destroyer of innocence. He will pay for this unspeakable crime with his own head. I swear it on my life.
No, Antonia, my dear friend. Do not give in to this madness.
Leave us, Aegis. I must speak privately with Madame de Polignac.
Very well, Madame.